Welcome back to another episode of the Retriever Handler Podcast. I am co-host and minority owner Jordan Keebler.
I am Bethany Keebler, owner, CEO, brand manager, marketing,
Yeah,
social media manager.
didn't see that one coming.
Bethany Keebler here.
Episode number 8. What do you think of when you think of number 8? Because I know what I think of when I think of number 8.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Boom. We did not even plan that. Did not even plan it. But you can tell she married a Keebler with that answer. So we have officially made it through that threshold of podcast die after 7 episodes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So we got that going for us.
Yeah.
I think we'll ever get to 100.
Yes, we will. Well,
We're going to
maybe.
be running out of guests.
I know, which is why I keep telling you, comment down here if you want to hear a solo episode with us rather than guest episodes. People like to hear us talk. Maybe
I'd
not,
rather listen to guys like Jason.
maybe not me, but they like to hear you talk.
Yeah, we just got done talking with Jason Pflasterer of the SRS, and it was so cool to hear him talk about all the success he has.
He's only been doing it 8 years, and he's had many accomplishments.
Insane. So you're going to want to listen to this and just listen to all the success he's had, and it's an awesome episode, and I could have talked for 3 days with him.
And we really appreciate him taking the time out of his busy schedule. He's a very busy man. He's in Texas right now.
Yep.
Tomorrow he's running the SRS, so we really appreciate him sitting down with us and just answering some of our questions that we've always wondered. And yeah, but first we have a
Sponsorship
comment note from Alpha Dog Nutrition. Complete nutritional supplements for every dog. We have been using Alpha Dog Nutrition supplements for over 5 years now and have not looked back. From healthier coats to solid stools, Alpha Dog Nutrition has a solution for every condition. Use code RH15 at checkout to save 15% off your next order. That's R as in retriever, H as in handler, RH15. Alpha Dog Nutrition, peak performance starts here.
Also use code podcast for 10% off the Retriever Handler shop. Hats and hoodies still available. Probably nobody's going to want to buy a hoodie right now with weather breaking, so get your hats.
We only have 2 hoodies left, though, so grab them while they're on sale.
And we do have sample t-shirts coming probably any day now, so I'm excited about that. We got a pretty cool design going on right now.
Hopefully. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
We don't know what it looks like.
But that one should be cool, so keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, here is Jason. All right. Welcome on by another special guest of the Retriever Handler Podcast, Jason Pflasterer, who I believe, Jason, you just won an SRS event, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Jason Pflasterer from Grand Island, Nebraska. Yeah, just ended up running. I actually judged the first one. So I judged Luke Core's event. They had an open and the amateur, and they split it, which they don't normally do. So they split that event. And I judged the open beforehand, and then afterwards ran the amateur, and then got first and second in that. So that was kind of a neat experience. Shaker ended up winning. I'm not sure how many points she has, but it's quite a few. I mean, she's always kind of been the bridesmaid, never the groom, and finally ended up getting that win and got that monkey off her back. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, she's just been one of those little dogs. She's just got a ton of talent, but it's never quite worked out for her. So it was finally her time. And it was kind of neat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So then who took second? Was that Cash?
Yeah, Cash took second. And I mean, obviously he's kind of the dog that I'm most known for. Yeah, he's won several events and placed several events. Actually, me and Mark Harder were talking about it last night. His dog Padre hit 100 points, and I was like, well, I'm curious how many points Cash has. And I've never actually looked at that. And he's between the open and the amateur, and I've only ran him in a couple of open events, but he's got like right around 82 points. So to hit 100 points in the SRS is a big feat. I mean, you only get 6 points for a win, so to hit 100 points, you've got to run a lot of events and place in a lot of events.
It's insane. And it, like the general public, like they'll see that and it doesn't register to them what that means. And I
Yeah,
wish people would understand what that means because it's just absolutely incredible. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, congratulations to you.
Congrats.
yeah.
That's
Thank
And
you.
awesome.
before we kind of get into more questions about that, we always like to start um, our sessions, I guess, podcasts with like a rapid fire 10 questions. First thing that comes to your head, just spit it out. They're kind of goofy, but it's kind of a way to break the ice, if you will.
Yeah,
Go ahead, B.
Okay.
yeah. Absolutely. Fire
So
away.
would you rather have a rewind button or pause button in life?
That rewind button would be nice just to go back
Yeah.
and you don't. What Cash was my first dog, and you don't know what you don't know. So it's just like, man, if I could go back with him, and I mean, maybe it wouldn't make him the same dog that he is now, but if I could go back and just do things differently, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm really proud of him, but it'd be cool to go back and redo some things and have
Yeah.
a do over with him.
Yeah, for sure. Would you rather wear wet socks forever or have popcorn stuck in your teeth forever?
Ooh, I don't know. Neither. I hate both.
I know.
There's
I
nothing
don't
worse than
think
having a leaky boot and wet socks, but popcorn stuck in your teeth is right up there. I'll probably have to go wet socks because having stuff stuck in my teeth is not good.
yeah. Oh gosh, there's nothing worse than a wet sock though. I'll
Yeah,
give
it's
you
terrible.
that.
It's terrible.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Favorite TV show of all time?
Oh, favorite TV show of all time. There's so many. Let's go with Friends. I guess I don't know. My mom used to watch that all the time, and I got hooked into that.
Nice.
It's a good show. Favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time, Forrest Gump.
That's extremely popular
That's
answer.
like the third or fourth
Yeah.
time
Is it?
we've heard that.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah,
That's the first
very
thing that comes to
popular
mind.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite band or musician?
Favorite band or musician? Oof, I kind of switch it up from every genre, but let's go with Morgan Wallen right now.
If you had to eat a crayon, which color would you choose?
That's a Marine joke. That's one for Eric teasing. Let's go with the blue crayon.
Okay. If you could eat dinner with any famous person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Ooh, famous person, dead or alive. Let's go with Abraham Lincoln. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know the reason why. That's the first thing came to mind.
Favorite sports team?
Nebraska Huskers.
Nice. Um, and
It's all
keep
we
in
got.
mind that's all you got. That's right.
It's all
For
we
this
got.
next question, keep in mind what's behind me. So, what company has the best retriever training logo on the market right now?
It's shameless plug. Shameless plug. The best logo right now. That is a pretty cool logo. I'll go with that one.
All
I'll go
right,
with that one. There's
good
no sitting
answer.
here looking at it.
Like I was sweating that one a little bit, but you, you got it. You got there. All right, cool. But yeah, thanks again. We really appreciate you jumping on, and I know you're extremely busy right now, so we'll try to get through this as quickly as we can. But I know I have not a lot of questions, but I just would love to just pick your brain for a little while. So, Bethany, do you want to
Yeah, I'll start. So I guess going back to your um last run of the SRS, what was kind of going through your head in the final series when you thought, wow, actually have like the chance to win this thing? Like, were there nerves? Like, were you excited? Like, what was in your head at that time?
So like you're obviously, I mean, the nerves are never not going to be there. I'm not going to go to the line and say that I don't have nerves going to the line. Everybody does. If you don't, you wouldn't be doing it. If it doesn't get you going, I mean, you don't. You love it. I mean, that's just what it is. So you got a ton of nerves going into that thing.
For
Um,
sure.
and even being there several times, you still have nerves. you look at it and what they had set up. They had 5 marks and a blind, so you're picking up 6 birds, and you're hoping that you get them all picked up in a clean, orderly fashion, but it doesn't always work that way. I know we were going into the 3rd series. Cass made a big comeback. He had a rough first series and missed a bird and had to handle, which doesn't normally happen, but, uh, yeah, he just missed 1 bird by a little bit and had to handle and racked up some points there, so he made a huge comeback to get into the finals and ended up in 2nd, and, Shaker just I mean, she kinda breezed through everything and had 3 great series and kinda put everything together really well. Um, so I'm just trying to hold her together in the finals. She You start blowing a duck call and things get just crazy like that, and that's what the Hunt Savvy series is typically in the 4th. She just thinks that's great and loves hunting. I mean, I take her hunting all the time, so you start blowing a duck call and she's like, "Where are they?" But, they
Mhm.
had 5 birds up there, 5 marks going off. You walked up to the line, and Luke Core was sitting there, and he just blowing this duck call like in your face, 2 feet away from you, and just hammering on this call. I mean, there were dogs barking, there were dogs screaming. I mean, it got them going. And we kind of got up there, and I got up there with Cash and run him, and I mean, he absolutely went out there and hammered it. I mean, he hunted 1 bird a little bit, and I handled him in the area, put him on the bird, and every other dog had handled on at least 2 marks. So I'm like, okay, like he's sitting in really good position. Like even if Shaker blows up here, we still are gonna get the win with this deal. And as I'm coming off the line with the Cash, Luke Core looks at me and he's like, Shaker's got a work cut out for her. And I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, you still gotta play to win. But get up there with Shaker, and I mean, she absolutely annihilated that thing. It was pretty cool to watch. We got down to the last mark, and um, I mean, she was headed right at it, and she kind of looked over at the gun. She was swimming. It was a long, long 200, like close to 200-yard mark, long swim on the point, off the point. And she was swimming out there, and she just kind of looked over at the gun, and then kind of looked back at the mark, and then looked over at the gun again. And I just gave her a quick tweak, handled her straight back to it, and she picked it up, and yeah, ended up winning by I think she beat Cash by like 50 points, and
That's awesome.
the rest of the field she beat by like 100. So it was a
Wow.
pretty big margin of victory. So that was kind of cool too. So
So
yeah, she's
you
running
mentioned,
really well right now.
yeah, you mentioned that I think you said his name was Luke was blowing a duck call. Is what do you mean? Like what is that? Are they just doing that to like get the dog wound up, or was he like honoring, or what is that?
Yeah, so like in the Super Retriever series, they have what they call Hunt Savvy. So they have a series where um basically you come up to the line, they can have like he's a Bubba gunner, like uh and he sits there next to you, blowing a duck call, and he shot a couple times as well. So it's like you're sitting there, you're hunting buddies, and you sit down next to each other. He shoots a couple times at a couple marks that are on the left, and then as we're swinging over the right, I'm the one shooting. Um, so the dog's got to be able to swing and watch those birds over to the left as well as swing with you and watch those birds over to the right that are falling. They're just trying to set up a hunting scenario. So, and they had a couple guys that were right across from us, like in a boat, like you were on public ground, and there's somebody else already there, and they're in a boat, and they threw a bird up in the air, and then they shot it twice with an actual shotgun. I mean, they sluiced the water, so the water is blowing up everywhere, and there's birds flying everywhere. And I mean, the marks are ranging from like they threw 2 birds at like 5 yards from behind us. Like they came off both
Jeez.
sides and landed one to the left here and one to the right here. And then they had another bird behind that. So I mean, there's birds going off everywhere. So it just with that duck call in there, it's adding more excitement as you're walking to the line and you're going and you're loading your shotgun and he's still blowing that duck call. And yeah, it's just a lot of excitement. It adds a lot more excitement to it. It's just basically trying to simulate a hunting scenario where there's just a lot going on. You're just getting to the blind. You got there late. Yeah, it's just kind of interesting how they come up with some of these ideas sometimes, and every one of them that I've run is different. Including, I mean, I've been to the Crown. I've been there 5 times. So been to the Crown 5 years. This will be the 6th year that I qualified for it. Now, if you get first through third at a weekend event, um, you qualify for the Crown. So this will be the 6th year that I qualified for the Crown. I've made the finals 4 out of 5 years. So pretty big accomplishment. Cash has placed 3 times and Shaker's placed once.
That's crazy.
That's absolutely incredible. I didn't even know that about that hunt savvy part. Like
Me either.
I've watched it on YouTube, but I had no idea about
I
that.
guess it's all about control,
Yeah,
right?
that just adds a whole nother element to it. I mean, that is
Yeah.
insane. I did not know that.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Crown, but that's the amateur Crown, right? And then there's the Open. Is that how that works?
So it's all they do it all together as of right now. It's all run together. So they run everything together. The amateurs run with the open dogs. So you see how your scores stack up against the open dogs, even though you're in 2 different divisions. You're still running the exact same thing. They're scoring it exactly the same. So I mean, there's been a couple years here in the last couple of years where the amateur dogs had won the overall and beaten the beating the open dogs. So it's kind of interesting to see. I mean, the amateurs can compete with open dogs. It's not uncommon. Like this last event here in Texas, the amateur dog actually scored lower than the open dogs. So
Oh,
it's just not uncommon for the amateurs to be able to jump over the open side now and do well on the open side, which never used to be the case.
yeah,
Jeez.
incredible. I could talk to you for 4 hours, but
So you said you judged the last one that you were at, or no? What did you say that
Yeah.
you judged? You
Yeah,
did.
so there's
Okay.
like 3 of them that kind of string together here. So Luke Coors Retrievers has an event, and then Rody Best Retrievers has 2 events. So they all kind of string together for like basically 2 weeks here. So Luke has his event. That was last weekend, and he ran the open first, and then I judged that. Me and Mark Polkey from Louisiana judged that together, and that was the first one that I've ever judged. So it really it it really taught me a lot about how they're judging this thing and how where your points are coming from. I mean, they're because everything's transparent. Like they want you to know like where if your dog hunted here or it got out of the area and it was hunting and came back in the area, found the bird, or if you had to handle out of the area and get the dog back into the area, like they want you to know all that stuff and be able to tell like where your score is from series to series. And obviously you want the lowest score. It's just like golf. So you want the lowest score. And they're just trying to be transparent with all that stuff and blinds, like on a blind, you get 2 for a whistle. Like handling to a mark to the area, you're getting 20 points for that. Then you're getting a marking score as well. They're counting your whistles to get there, cast refusals, wandering if you're letting the dog, you give them a whistle and then you cast, and the dog takes your cast kind of, and they're kind of wandering out of the area. They're not really making progress towards the bird. They're giving you points for that. That it's racking up 5, 5, 5, 5, plus your whistles or cast refusals is so it was really eye-opening experience to see
Mm-hmm.
where all the points were coming from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially for a test like that. So, like, what got you into dog training and doing these tests in the first place?
So, well, growing up, I will go all the way back to the beginning. When I was a little kid, I started showing horses. My grandfather had uh, raised paint horses and bought a stud horse and started breeding back in the 70s. And we built them from the ground up. My mom broke horses for years, and we showed all of them all over the country. I mean, we went from Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, South Dakota, North Dakota, and showed horses all over the country. At one time, I think me and my sister were like 1 and 2 in youth. And I showed up until I was about 18 years old. But yeah, we went to World Show, Congress, all that stuff. And I think that was kind of where my uh, ability to be able to train came from. We started showing when I was, I don't even know, before I could even walk. So that was all we did was travel in the trailer, go to shows, and we showed the all around. So we get up in the morning, we'd show halter, showmanship, and then kind of transition over into all the English classes, jumping, and then Western riding, trail, reining, and then fast forward to all the barrel events, poles, goat tying, you name it, we did it. So we showed the all around. So that was kind of like why I got into the SRS. I enjoyed the dog that could do it all. He could run hunt tests. He could run uh, field trials. He could go out and go hunting, and that was where that all kind of came from. Just to kind of talk about that a little bit, I guess. So last year, my dog Cash, he ended up getting in the Master National and making Master National Hall of Fame. So he ended up in the Hall of Fame. My grandpa had a horse that was inducted into the Paint Horse Hall of Fame in Oklahoma City last year, and then my mom actually ended up being inducted into the Pinto Horse Hall of Fame. So yeah, it's just
Wow.
kind of been a family affair. I mean, like I said,
That's
we've been showing
awesome.
horses, so that's kind of where that came from. And then as a kid, I always enjoyed duck hunting. Went with my uncles quite a bit, and my dad, and that was kind of I mean, I fell in love with duck hunting and started duck hunting, and then just kind of started watching ESPN and the Great Outdoor Games. I think like most people that are in the SRS, started watching all of that and kind of fell in love with
Yeah.
that, and can remember watching that, and I'm like, oh man, I would love to have a dog like that. And watching people like Chris Aiken and Boomer and Jay Paul and Achilles and um, Mr. Jerry Day and Nike and just all those dogs that kind of started that all off and kicked that all off. I thought that was just awesome. So kind of fast forward to when I was 14, 15 years old, my parents lost a bet and ended up getting me a duck dog and ended up training her just as a duck dog, and then had one other dog after her, and kind of trained her a little bit, and then ended up getting Cash. So Cash is like my third dog, and just decided with him that I wanted to take it a little bit farther and kind of start training him. And he's out of Chris Aiken's Finn dog, and then an HRCH Master Hunter female that's had some field trial stuff. So um, I just had a real nice pedigree, and just yeah, decided to take him as far as I could. And I don't know if anybody actually took me serious when I was like, well, this is going to be my dog that I'm gonna take him as far as he'll go. And we ran his first SRS at 3 years old,
Wow. That's awesome.
and ended up placing third. So that was in Nebraska, and I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I was just asking a million questions, and that was COVID year, so that was 2020, and the Master National had gotten canceled, and everybody decided to go to the Crown that year. So everybody kind of shifted from qualifying for the Master National to going to the SRS. So there were 80 dogs in that one, so and a ton of amateurs and a ton of good amateurs. And everybody came. I think Jerry Day was there, Jared Moffett, and there were several others. But they're all really good amateurs. And yeah, we ended up in the finals and ended up getting third, so we qualified. And I think we only missed first by like 2 or 3 points. So
Wow.
that was really cool. And then ended up going to the Crown that year, and Cash ended up placing second at the Crown that year. So that was kind of it's kind of
Amazing.
a got kind of spoiled, I guess, to be able to
So
place second at the Crown that year. Though that was like pretty eye opening. It was, and I think Ron Anderson and Bella won it that year. And Ron's a good friend, but yeah, that was kind of our start. I mean, and everybody was like, "Who are these two? Like, where'd they come from?" Nobody knew anything about us, and it was just kind of a neat deal.
yeah.
So, I mean, at what point with your dogs, let's just say Cash, what point did you realize that he has this to compete at the SRS, or did you just kind of go to one of these events and kind of just wing it and see what happens?
At an early age, I knew he was good, and you're hunting with your buddies, and he's like 1 year old, and they're like, "That's probably the best dog I've ever seen."
Yeah.
Um, And most people you don't see what's out there really, but uh, I think just having a buddy that had been there already, Cole Scott kind of got me into it. He's a good friend back in Nebraska, and he had ran the year before and ran the SRSU, so they have a collegiate event where uh, if you're in college, they give you basically a mentor or team. They give you at that time they gave you a teammate. I don't think it's teams anymore, but anyways, him and Amanda Steinman were together, and then Lyle and Stephanie Steinman were coaches at that point in time. So they went, and he ended up qualifying for the crown. He went to that event, got a fourth, and then I think he went up to Minnesota, and he ended up getting a third in qualifying. So he had went the year before, and then he's like, "Hey, you need to come run this. Like, your dog's good enough. Like, just come run it, come run it, come run it, come run it." And so, I mean, basically it was swing for the fence, and we're gonna go run it. So we went and ended up swinging the bat and just running, and it worked out in our favor.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
cool, so cool, so cool to hear.
Yeah, it really is.
yeah.
Um, so how many total years have you been doing this for?
Just since I've had Cash, so
Okay.
roughly, let's just say 8 years. He just turned 9, so roughly eight
Okay.
years. So not that long in comparison to a lot of people. I mean, I've done a lot in a short amount of time. I've ran, um, I've got two SRS amateur champions, Shaker and Cash. I've got three grand champions, so I've got Cash, Shaker, and Bougie. They're all grand champions. And then Cash and Bougie are both Master National Hunters. Shaker needs one more plate for her Master National Hunters. So essentially, I could have three Grand Champion Master National Hunters, which would be really cool.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, Bouge is kind of I don't talk about her much, but she's my young dog. She's a Grand Champion Master National Hunter, and she just turned 5. So by 4 years old, she was Grand Champion Master National Hunter. 2 years old, she was a Grand Champion. Past Master National at 2 years old, 3 years old, and 4 years old. So that was really impressive. And I ran her and all of that. Nobody else ran her. And so that was just kind of a neat deal that I could say that I did her I built her from
Yeah.
the ground up and ran her and everything. So that was, yeah, really cool. Like we went out to Western Nebraska and ran. Chris Jobman has 5 tests in like 10 days. And as a 2-year-old, I took her out there and we ran all of those master tests. We ran 10 of them, and we got 5 master passes in 10 days, and then qualified her for the Master National as a 2-year-old to go to the Master National, and then she goes over there and passes that thing. So that was like highly impressive.
That's
I'm
awesome.
blessed with that little
It-
dog. She's incredible.
yeah, and you definitely took like the accelerated route. Like you haven't been doing it that long, and you just accelerated and you did like all of these accomplishments, and that's just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like, how did you learn to do this like so quickly and have so much success with
Uh,
8
so
years or 9 years?
yeah, that's the question most people have. I mean, I sat behind a ton of people. Dane Johnson's about an hour from me, and I would go sit behind him every chance I got. And he learned from Chris Jobman, and I mean, I've sat behind Chris a ton and watched him run, and just picked up little things that they were doing to become a better handler as far as like the training aspect goes, and learning how to do that. I think horses and learning how to break them from an early age, and that all kind of translated over into dogs. And I can remember using Chris Aiken's stuff as when I was building those gun dogs to begin with. I was using Chris Aiken's stuff and just reading some books and kind of figuring it out as I went, and bought Evan Graham's stuff and bought my Glardy's stuff and watched all of that stuff and really learned from all of those, and kind of took the things that I liked from all of it and tried to combine them all and just build them from the ground up. That was kind of the way I've always been taught. So horses and um, dogs kind of all meshed together, and that was just kind of what we did as kids, just build them from the ground up. So that was kind of how I approached it. Is a dog trainer, just kind of build them from the ground up and simplify everything. I mean, and there's a ton of other stuff that I've used too. I mean, Freddie King's stuff is all great. I can remember watching him as a little kid, and he actually came. They had two SRSs in Grand Island, and Freddie actually came to Grand Island. And I can remember sitting at the shooting park, sitting there, and he was filming the dock diving and stuff like that. And I can remember sitting there, and I picked his brain for the better part of probably 2 hours, 3 hours. I don't even know how long we were sitting there talking. It seemed like 15 minutes, but um, just being able to go and sit with all these people. I mean, I've sat with Dave Roram, I've sat with Lyle Steinman, Stephen Durrance, Leo Joseph. I mean, sitting with all those people and being able to sit behind them and watch them run dogs, and uh, it's just a huge, huge, huge thing to be able to go and sit behind those guys and watch those guys run dogs, and just pick up on little things that they're doing and be able to pick their brain and ask them questions. And Luke Core is another one. Um, I've trained with him a little bit and really enjoy watching him run, and especially at that last event. I mean, he is a really good handler. So it's just incredible to watch those guys and pick up little things that they're doing that kind of transition over into what I want to be doing and how I want to handle. And yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like when you're training, how often are you, especially now that you're in the SRS and doing all this, how often we can maybe do this like on a weekly basis, like how many days a week are you actually running setups with like triples, or are you mostly running setups with like long singles?
Yeah, yeah. So I run a lot of singles. I don't run a lot of multiples. My dogs actually like have enough head swinging problems. So like today we were throwing singles, and I mean they're both like looking all over the place. They're just looking left and right. And I'm like just look right here, right here, right here, right here. Good, sit. Good, sit. And we had to rethrow it a couple times, and it's just like sit. But yeah, most of the time I'm throwing singles, and we're just working on concepts. And I run a lot of water. I try to run a lot of water and really work on those concepts and getting on and off the point and running a straight line. And I try and do a lot of that. I don't throw a lot of multiples. I've got my training group consists of me, Darren Galloway, Ty Johnson. We all kind of train together, and Darren hates throwing singles, so we'll get with him every once in a while, and we'll throw a few multiples. But for the most part, I throw a lot of singles, and I don't mind it. Like I want to see the dog have success, go out there, pick it up, be confident, and not be hunting all over the place, and not have to correct them a bunch. So
How important is that for especially amateurs, even in the, say, the HRC world with the, seasoned and finished level? How important is that, do you think, that because a lot of amateurs, at least that I'm with, like they run a lot of multiples. But how important do you think it is to just stick with the singles, and then maybe, naturally they just pick up on, okay, now there's multiples, I'll just go boom, boom, boom.
Like there's another one coming.
Yeah.
it's from a confidence aspect. Like I like throwing just singles, just to build their confidence. And like, okay, you can throw it. You can find anything that's thrown out there. Like I said, I'm not throwing multiples very often at all. Like it's mostly just concept singles, and we're going out there and we're gonna have a good day. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna pick this mark up, and you're gonna have a good day. I'm not worried about them figuring out how multiple. That all kind of comes later. I'll run multiples, but like I said, I don't run a lot of them. It's something that I think they can just kind of transition into, and they can kind of figure out. Like I said, I don't worry about multiples. It's not something I'm doing in training every day or
Yeah.
all the time. I mean, it's something I think they need to do before you're going and running a test. I think you need to throw a couple multiples to see where they're at. But
Yeah.
I'm not like I said, I'm not throwing multiples all the time. I'm building confidence and working on concepts through just singles.
Yeah.
And most of the training setups that I'm doing are very complex, and they're not meant to be thrown as multiples. I mean, and that's where I think a lot of people fall short. You go and you train with like Lyle, or you go and you train with any one of the pros, and you're looking at what they're setting up. And a lot of these amateurs are then taking that, and they're going and judging, and they're taking what they looked at, while they were training with those people, and then they're trying to set that up, and it was meant to be thrown, and they threw it as singles in training, and then they're trying to set that up in a test, and it's not meant to be thrown as a triple. It was meant to be thrown as singles, and that's it. So, and that's what a lot of people are doing. We're throwing concepts, and we're working on that, and that's why everybody's throwing singles.
Yeah. That's very interesting to me because we're relatively new to this world, and I always thought like, hey, if you're training for seasoned or finished or what, like you just throw doubles or triples. But then like obviously you get the head swinging and all that. And then someone told me like, pro trainers or like really good amateurs are usually just running singles. And I was like, what, really? But
Mhm.
it all makes sense. And that's something we need to do more of is just running singles and concept singles and stuff like that. But I always thought
Yeah.
that was very, very interesting. Did you?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure you're very busy. What does like a typical like training week look like for you whenever you're just, training to run a test or, you don't even have a test coming up? Like what does that week look like for you?
Most of the time I'm running like, so you have typical work day, about a 10-hour day, then come home, grab all the stuff, head out into the field. My dad just retired, so he's been coming out and throwing birds for me here and there.
Nice.
And couldn't do it without him. But uh, yeah, we'll head out into the field. And normally I'm throwing a lot of marking drills. So, like, I'll be throwing the ABCD drill or a W drill or an inline drill or a staggered inline drill, um, and working on those marking concepts or a Y drill. And I do that stuff with the old dogs even to this day. I'll do all that stuff and kind of run through all that stuff, and a lot of drill work. I mean, that's if you can't do the basics, then you're not gonna be ready for the big stuff. Even as an old dog, and I'll run the dogs all back through the basics every year. Like we'll go back and we'll do um, more slaughter in the spring, and we'll do a little bit of D cheat and just stick to the basics and having the basics down. And that's a big part of having these dogs be able to do the big things because if they can't do the small things, then they're not gonna be able to do the big things. So, and going back to even holding blind work, like just working on holding blind stuff and working on bucket drills. I mean, all that stuff is crucial it to picking up marks and being steady at the line. And all that stuff matters.
So you work 10 hours a day and then you go and train and you've had all the success.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. No, well, and it helps that I'm not married and I don't have any kids, so that that helps out a lot. My girlfriend lives in Louisiana, so she's 16 hours away, and she tells me all the time, "You look good from 16 hours away." But yeah, so
That's
she has a puppy out of Cash and Bougie, so she actually just ran her first derby this weekend, and ended up
Nice.
getting a jam in the derby, so she made it through all 4 series. So really proud of her and that little dog. He's just about to turn 2 years old, so he's just about to age out of the derby, but she's going to run a couple more, and she's really enjoying it. She's done really well, but I'm really proud of her. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
10 hours a day and then going to train. That's crazy and I give you a lot of credit.
yeah,
Jason, I think you're my hero.
well, I appreciate it.
That's in, that's incredible, incredible. This is a we're getting towards the end here, and I know
No,
you're
you're
busy.
all right. You're all right.
If someone were to come to you with a 6 month old puppy and said, "I want this dog to have the success that you have with your dogs," what would be the one thing that you would essentially focus on the most in order for them to have the success that you've had?
Oof. It's an everyday commitment. I mean, there's days where I didn't want to go out, or it was raining, or snowing, or wind was blowing 70 miles an hour. I mean, you just got to be dedicated to it. It's to be able to go and do all the things that I've done. You've really got to have a lot of dedication to it, and I mean, giving up going and doing some of the things that you want to go doing. Like I don't go fishing anymore. I don't go hang out with buddies anymore. It's we're going to train and we're going to run every weekend. I mean, to have those dogs that have that grand title or the master national title, or even an SRS amateur title or an SRS open title, I mean, it takes a lot of dedication. You got to have a really good dog to be able to go do that. So yeah, I mean, to be able to go do that, you're gonna give up a lot of time, and you're gonna have to work at it.
Yeah. Dedication and focus and all of the above, I guess, right?
Yep.
You've had a lot of success. I know I keep saying that. I sound like a broken record, but have you ever thought of retrieving or training retrievers for a living?
Um, you know, I've it's kind of one of those things that I've tossed around, and I've really thought about it. It's it's something that I think I would really enjoy, and I mean, I do really enjoy it. Like, there's nothing better than standing on a hill and running dogs. To me, for now, I'm just enjoying my own dogs and just kind of waiting to see what happens with them. I mean, I've got a couple young dogs that I'm working on right now, but for right now, I'm just kind of enjoying Cash. I'm enjoying Shaker, and they're kind of on their way out. They're transitioning out. I mean, they're going to be Cash will be 10 next year, and Shaker will be 9. So I mean, they're kind of on their way out. So I just want to give them everything I've got for now, and then worry about possibly going and training for somebody, or doing my own thing in the future. I'll worry about that when that happens. But it's not on the table right now. But it's something that I have seriously thought about. And I've been offered several jobs by several really, really, really well-known people, and it's nice to be thought of, I guess, like that. So, and have those
Yeah.
people ask me. Like Lyle's asked me to come work for him, and there's just been several others. So, I mean, that's just a huge compliment. I mean,
Awesome.
telling you that you're doing something right in the game.
So, as we kind of wrap up, what is your spring and summer like stack look like? Like, what do you got coming up as far as hunt tests go?
Um, so right now I've got we'll kick off Rhodey's event tomorrow, his last event. Um, and Cash is running the open, Shaker's running the amateur. So I'm kind of shooting for Cash's open title. He needs a win to get his open title. Um, Shaker just kind of running her. Just, if we could put her up there for team of the year, that would be great. Other than that, Cash is going to run the grand this spring, and hopefully get his 4th pass. And then I'll have to get some points to get his Hall of Fame for the HRC. And I might run some field trials, probably run some amateurs, and I've ran an amateur and I've ran an open. So I mean, there's really not too much that I haven't ran. I mean, I've ran the Grand, I've ran Master National, I ran an open amateur. At some point, I'll probably start transitioning over to field trials and just running field trials. That's just kind of the path I'm on. I think really enjoy the field trial game, and I'll probably stick with the SRS as well. I mean, I really love the SRS. That's just one of the games that they kind of got me started, and like why I started doing all this. So the SRS has been a big part of why I got into this. So I'll stick with that for sure, and we'll be in that game for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, you're doing so well at it. Just keep going. Just
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
racking up those
Yeah.
wins and those
Yeah.
accomplishments, and that's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
Do you ever like sit back and think to yourself, like, damn, I have like some of the best dogs in the country right now? If I were you, I
Um,
would.
I mean, I'm pretty humble, so just it's not one of those things that I really sit there and pine on. But um, yeah, it's kind of neat to be recognized for all that stuff, and go to the Master National and see Cash's name up on a board that he's in the Hall of Fame and all that stuff. It's just kind of neat. And I mean, a lot of the field trialers and all those guys, they all started off in the hunt test world and then worked their way into the field trial world. So it's just kind of the natural progression of things, I think. But yeah, it's definitely neat to sit back and look at all your accomplishments over the years. And I've got a gun safe that's got a bunch of stuff on it, and it's just kind of neat to look over there at that and kind of think back to all the memories that I've had running dogs all over the country. I mean, I've been from one end of the country to the other, from Georgia all the way to Oregon, Washington, Idaho.
Wow.
I mean, it's just kind of been an adventure for sure. And something I never thought that I would ever do in my life, but here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you deserve all the praise.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Jason, uh, this is all. I honestly could just keep talking for like 3 hours with you, but out of respect for everything, we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Thank you very much
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
joining us. I had a really good time talking, and wish
Yeah.
you nothing but success.
Well, I
with all your
appreciate it.
future, yeah, with all your future endeavors, and we'll be rooting for you, and I'll definitely be keeping up with the SRS and watching it, and looking for your name out there. So good luck to you for the rest of the way, and hopefully we can talk again about all
The
more
rest of your success.
to your success.
Well, I appreciate it, and thank you for having me on. It was good talking to you guys.